So I want to talk about my favourite character in all media, and that is Snake from Metal Gear Solid. The only problem is there isn't just one Snake. The protagonist, Snake, is actually several characters, often clones that span the 40-year period between the 60s and the 2010s. And he's the most badass super soldier, eye patch wearing, bandana wearing, mullet pulling off hero you could have. I mean, the guy pulls off a mullet like no one else. So this is Naked Snake from Metal Gear Solid 3 and Peace Walker in his standard green uniform. I used for this one of my favourite toy lines to customise at the moment, which is Joy Toy. They're so diverse, they're great fodder for customs. You buy them in sets of 3 to 5 figures, which is an absolute godsend because it just gives you options and different parts, and their range is just so expansive. So I absolutely adore that company. Yes, they've had a few problems in the early days, but now they're sorting it out, and as a customizer, you can't beat them. You get yourself on it if you are interested in the sort of 1/18th scale. Go and get yourself some Joy Toy figures, play around with them. You can pop their heads off, you can switch the hands and the arms and the vests, all the accessories. And as soon as I saw that they were doing these guys, I think these are like Russian military figures as a base. I saw them and I was like, I need that body because that's going to be a perfect Naked Snake. Purists, obviously, yes, he does have 2 knee pads, whereas Snake usually only wears the 1, but for now I'm happy. He fills his place on the shelf, so that's him. Here we have, and I've got quite a few, this is my favourite version of Snake from the latest game, and the kicker is he's actually not a Snake at all. He's a random medic that is injured in battle. He gets a massive piece of metal through his head in a helicopter explosion. It takes away his memory. And so in order to protect the real Snake, or Big Boss as he's known, that's this guy, they hypnotise him while he's in a coma. Through hypnotic suggestion, they give him all of the original Big Boss's memories. They give him facial surgery, which is why his face is sort of imperfect, full of scars and really gnarly gnashes and stuff like that. And they make a decoy. So all the way through, spoiler alert, all the way through the final game, you are playing as a decoy. You're not playing as the main character in the series, which is, I just thought was so awesome at the time. And so there's the sort of the opening version of the character from the beginning of the game. This is the character in the sneaking suit, which is probably my favourite, and it was quite hard to make. That's a Boss Fight Studio blank body with the sculpted, let me show you, apologies for taking him out of shot. So he's got a sculpted sneaking suit on there. I use green stuff, and Fortnite arms, sculpted details on the pouches and all that, and those thick sort of sneaking suit thighs. They're Fortnite thighs and upper legs, and the waist joint. It's a custom 3D printed head, which I sourced from eBay, and these are Joy Toy boots. So that's a complete mishmash. I was really struggling to find a good base body that represented that awesome iconic sneaking suit. So it made it harder to repeat when I wanted to make the original sneaking suit Snake from the first Metal Gear Solid, which is this guy's enemy. And I'm not going to get into a complete lore breakdown. It doesn't want to stand up for me. But he's the sort of clone of the original Big Boss. That's this guy. And that's why he has the bandana. So yeah, I wanted to, as soon as I made this figure, I knew I wanted to make this guy here. Because you've got to have the original. It was the first game I played in the series, and if you're going to have Solid Snake, you got to have Liquid Snake. Fairly simple, custom. It's just a guy with his top off. The hardest thing was the hair, which is green stuffed on. Excuse the blue tack. I am going to eventually find a more permanent solution to keep the head on, with some Joy Toy neck joints. Finally, yeah, of the Metal Gear Solid 5 versions of the character is the battle dress Snake. Really love the colours on that one. It's probably my least favourite when I play the game, which I still do. It makes you sort of slow and cumbersome in the game. That's a little bit of hand painting there. I can just show off the Diamond Dogs. Oh, guns falling everywhere. Yeah, so this guy makes you sort of really fast and sneaky, and the guards can't hear your footprints. This is just a standard guy. And then this guy sort of makes you a little bit clunky. The guards can hear you coming in the game, but if people shoot at you, you do have a bit more leeway. And that wasn't the last one. Excuse me. This is the last one of Venom Snake. He's just the standard green uniform, which is sort of the Venom Snake equivalent of Naked Snake. What else is there? So we'll move these guys to the back. You can probably get the gist now that I am completely obsessed with Metal Gear. Here's old Snake. This is a complete mishmash again. This is a Fortnite, half a Fortnite figure. The top half is a combination of City Strike Snake Eyes with sculpted details. That's a third-party head, and I love this head. I love this version of the character because he reminds me of Angel Eyes from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And yeah, that's him when he's sort of in his Arctic Octo camo. You can't have a collection without having an older version of Big Boss. So this guy sort of leads my military figures. He's got his plans there. So yeah, I've rambled on now for nearly 10 minutes. So I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.